What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis, dropping that video for you guys to give y'all something to watch on the weekend. Obviously, I'll be dropping another video on Sunday. I'm trying to give y'all as much content as possible. The draft coverage is coming up. Only reason why I haven't dropped my mock draft or the rebuilding series is because I like to do it. I usually drop a mock draft before the draft, but I'm not really high on that many prospects, but definitely after the lottery where we know what people will pick from, um because the lottery, that's the point of the lottery, I definitely will be dropping a mock draft about where they should draft, who they should draft, and who they should trade after they draft that pick, and it's all gonna be fun. But we're gonna talk about Markelle Fultz because this is a #1 pick. You know, Philly went from #3 to trade up for this guy. He worked out for him. He was the #1 consensus pick for the whole year, even in college. And he didn't even, just like Ben Simmons, he didn't even make the tournament. And he gave you buckets. He had a tough team to play for because nobody could really create their own shot. Nobody had a consistent three-point shot. They didn't have a consistent inside player. And all the attention was on Markelle Fultz, and he was able to still go out there, shoot efficiently, knock down shots, create his own shot, have versatile in multiple ways to score the basketball, whether it was the floater, whether it was the jumper, whether it was the stop and pop, the pull up three, the spin move to the paint to get layups and dunks. He's athletic, he's long, he's lanky, he's 6'5", and you can play him at the point or the two because he got length and size and athleticism to play either position. Plus, he's a solid and decent playmaker. Is he a LeBron, Chris Paul, John Wall playmaker? No, but he's young, and at the end of the day, he hasn't even played a full season, and he didn't even play in the playoffs. And on top of that, his birthday is May 29th, so he's going into next year as a 20-year-old. I mean, as a 21, as a 20-year-old because he's only 19, and everybody just made it seem like Markelle Fultz was trash. Markelle Fultz is a bust, and his shot ain't the same. Let's be real. We had NBA players like Tyreke Evans, where he came out and averaged 25 and 5 and never did that again. You can argue that he did it last year with Memphis, but how many years later was that? He's on a whole different team. He's not even with the Kings anymore. He never helped them make the playoffs. What did he really do? He put up numbers, and it was great. I thought he was Rookie of the Year before the season even started, and I picked him to win it, and he did. But it's a lot of rookies that had great seasons. Marco Carter-Williams was Rookie of the Year, put up solid numbers, and now he's at the end of the bench, not even getting playing time. So, you know, that's one thing. Even Andrew Wiggins, he had a season where he averaged over 20, and now he don't even fit with the Wolves. Now people talking about trading him. So you can definitely come in a league, catch people off guard, or even like Donovan Mitchell, get that opportunity, keep developing, keep playing good, and develop that reputation and that respect around the league. But like we said, like Tiger Woods said, it's about consistency. One player, we done seen people have breakout seasons like Victor. We done seen people like, you know, people fall off like Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose came out and won Rookie of the Year. Now he's at the bench and he's not even 30 yet. So OJ Mayo put up 18 a game as a rookie, and he's already out of the league before he was out of the league before he was even 30. Michael Beasley dominated in college, came in and had a solid rookie season, but never got to that top echelon of players like people thought he would be, especially as a scorer. So that's definitely one thing that people need to remember, that in the NBA, we kind of get a short-term memory. That's why I like the other YouTubers, by bringing up the past, the present, and other players like I do. I cover the role players and everything because these players, anybody can have a breakout season. Remember, Kyle Korver was an all-star at one point because they had a breakout season. That whole Atlanta team, nobody's even really on that roster anymore. And that wasn't even 5 years ago, and the roster changed that much. Coach Budenholzer is already gone. He won Coach of the Year. He's not even coaching the Hawks no more. So we do got to push the brakes just a little bit, relax just a little bit, because people can have a breakout season. People can have an injury-riddled season. People can make comeback seasons. So, like Tyreke Evans had a comeback season this year, and he had mediocre seasons before and a lot of injuries. Drew Holiday was a guy that a lot of people said he's done. Same with Eric Gordon. He came back and had a breakout 6-man of the year season. And James Harden said he probably should have been an all-star, even though he is his teammate. Drew Holiday was a guy that everybody gave up. And I kept telling you guys, Drew Holiday can play. Drew Holiday can defend. Once they started winning, once he got healthy, he put up numbers. They made the playoffs. He had a dominant game 4. They won a game in a blowout against the Golden State Warriors, and now people are starting to respect and give him credit as a two-way player. But not only that, they're going as far as saying the Pelicans can be a threat in the West, which I do agree with, depending on what they do with this roster, because the NBA is steady evolving and teams are steady shaking things up every season, that you can't just guarantee a playoff spot to a team that might not make it, or they might get injured, or they might not make a trade and get passed up by other teams that caught back up to them or passed them. So in the NBA, we do have a short-term memory. We do live in the now. Oh, this player is amazing. Oh, this player is good. Oh, this player. But injuries happen. People fall off. People get passed up. And people get in and out of the league. So let's be real about that. Markelle Fultz is only 19 years old. By the end of this month, he will be 20 years old. He's not even done with his rookie contract. He had a bad offseason. He got injured in Summer League. I think Markelle Fultz can play. If I had to redraft, I would still pick Markelle Fultz #1 because of his potential and what he already has done in high school and college. And I think the #1 starting for him to get back on track would definitely be getting his shot back where it was before. And on top of that, study working on his strength and conditioning and getting that body even more prepared for next year. That's the start of it. He still has to go out there and play against NBA quality players. Summer League will definitely be a start for him there. Getting confidence, getting shots up, playing against competition. Is he better? Yeah, he's probably better than everybody that probably be in Summer League, but it's still good that you're going against NBA caliber coaches, some players that's hungry and want to prove themselves, and you get a chance to run some plays, get used to some type of plays. You get that feeling of playing again. You get that confidence back because you're getting in that groove. You're starting to feel yourself, and confidence can take you a long way in the NBA. And then, going to training camp, feeling like I wanna get to know my teammates better, build some more chemistry, earn their respect like I think he already did, because Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons has a lot of respect for him already. And just take it month by month, time by time until the season start. Because when he came back, he didn't look that bad. He gave you a triple-double. He showed that he can pass. He showed that he can score. He just need to get that jumper back. Once he get that jumper back, his confidence will be back. Because I always told people, when you're a scorer, once people know that you can shoot, we seen it with Kevin Durant continue to rip through. James Harden, he keeps doing that step back, so you give him the room, then you come up on him, then he gets to step back, he gets to the bank. Once you have that jump shot develop and people know you can shoot, it opens up the whole game. Because now you can drive past them. Now you can handle the ball and pull up. Now you can blow past them because now they know you about to pull up, so they come up, then you blow right past them. You can get to the free throw line because usually if a person blow past you, you want to foul them so they don't get to the layup. So once he get that confidence and that jump shot and that stroke back, which he already did a little bit, but he got the whole offseason since they got eliminated so early. He has months to get this back in order. Plus, he did it in this season and finally got back on the court. He has months to get his confidence back. He has a lot of time to train and work and study. And he even has an opportunity as a second-year player to get some playing time against players in Summer League, which is a long time because you play a lot of games. And then you can go into training camp. Then you can go to play with your teammates and get more familiar with them. Then you got, preseason. Then you get the first couple months to feel yourself out, fill out your teammates, continue to play, get that confidence, and know your role on the team. Will he be a sixth man? I don't really care if he does, because he showed that in his last couple games that he can give you double digits and a couple assists. He's impactful off the bench. Obviously, people can throw that monkey wrench that, TJ McConnell, got more playing time. He even played and started in the playoffs. Where was Markelle Fultz? I'm not going to argue that. T.J. McConnell was a guy that already played big time in the regular season. He's a guy that already showed up throughout the season and in the playoffs. So he should, because Markelle Fultz didn't play as many games and you couldn't really trust him because he didn't have that many games under his belt. Plus, you're trying to win in the playoffs. It's whoever gets to the first 4 W's. So you don't want to take a risk with Markelle Fultz when you can go with a guy you know can get the job done. So I'm not going to argue that fact. That is a fact, and I agree with that fact. But that's why Markelle Fultz has to get back on his game, and I think he will. Even as a 6-man, you know, these guys get 20, 25, 30 minutes sometimes. And if you hot and you really making an impact, sometimes you might even close the game. And we done seen that with multiple teams this year too, that even like Toronto, they even played DeMar DeRozan because he was cold, but Kyle Lowry and them was getting hot, and that opened the opportunity for some of their peak players off the bench, like Van Fleet, who is a rookie. He had the opportunity, proved himself, and became a vocal and important part of that team, and he's a rookie. So being a 6-man ain't as bad, especially if you go out there and produce. Remember, Dario Saric was coming off the bench earlier this year, continued to improve, continued to have confidence, continued to know his role, and he eventually became a starter and made a huge impact even in the playoffs, giving you a bunch of 20-point games off the ball and on the ball and showing that he can still pass and score. And I think that's something that will make the Sixers more dynamic. Having a guy like Simmons, having a guy like Embiid, having a guy like Saric that can all create their own shot to a certain extent while still being unselfish and team friendly. But Ben Simmons definitely will have to develop some go-to moves because I think Brett Brown helped them get easy baskets. I don't really feel like Ben Simmons has moves he can just go to and get a bucket, but I feel like Markelle Fultz has that, and I feel like Sarge is playing on another level for his role right now, and he worked his way up just like Markelle Fultz might have to do too. And that's something that he shouldn't stray away from is what I'm saying. That's something that he should embrace, take that opportunity, make a name for himself, get respect, and keep building back up to where he was the number 1 pick in his draft for a reason. And consensus, even if he didn't make the NCAA tournament, people still had Markelle Fultz going number 1. It's a reason why he went number 1. It's a reason why Philly traded up for him. And it's a reason why so many people still think Markelle Fultz can play. I understand he had one bad season. I understand that his jump shot got fucked up. But these things, don't panic. It's only year 1. And even if he do flop, worst case scenario, you don't re-sign him as a rookie. So, I mean, you don't re-sign him when his contract come up. So that's worst case scenario. That he didn't pan out. Trade him for a 2nd-round pick, trade him for a 1st-round pick, or trade him for an aspiring contract so you can sign another free agent or pay Dario, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, or even sign a max free agent this year. And that's one less player you have to play because he didn't pan out. And you still got Simmons at the point guard position, and you still got Joel Embiid still, if he can continue to stay healthy. You still have 2 all-star caliber players with a developing Sarge that could possibly be the 3rd, depending if they do get a max player this free agency. So Philly people, don't panic. Don't be discouraged. Like I said, we had people that had breakout seasons and still out of the NBA. We had people have all-star seasons and never became an all-star after that. And we had players that put up numbers, but when they went on a good team, they were just a role player. And we don't have people put up numbers on bad teams. And when they went to a good team, they didn't really gel or fit in, or they got a reduced role as their years went on. And it just, every season is different. So just be patient. And I think that's people, be patient. I still would draft Markelle Fultz number 1. Obviously, Tatum has had a spectacular season. Honestly, Kyle Kuzma, you have Donovan Mitchell, but all those guys was under Fultz for a reason. And if he can get back to what made him special and stand out and enhance and improve those qualities and brush up a little bit on his skills, take it year by year. Let's see what happens into the end of that rookie contract. And that's 3 to 4 years. Well, now 3 years, or sometimes 2, because I don't know how long he did his rookie contract. Then at that time, we can judge him. We said the same thing. People said it was Hayo Mudiay. Denver got rid of him. Now he has to take that as fuel to the fire to get better because he's fighting to stay in the league now. But Denver gave him an opportunity to start. Denver gave him an opportunity to improve. New York is taking a chance on him, and if he don't work out in New York, he's out of the league. So you have to remember that there's a lot of scenarios going on, and be patient. Worst case scenario, that's one less guy you got to pay, and you still have 2 All-Stars on your roster, potentially 3, and you still got a max contract spot this season. So Philly, the future still looks bright. That's my whole point. And Markelle Fultz can only add to this future at this point in his career because he did nothing this year and they won 50-plus games and got out of the second round. And he didn't even play in the playoffs either. Philly, you'll be fine, whether he's a bust or not. But knowing that he can be better than what he was this year because it was so terrible makes y'all ceiling even higher. So look at the bright side. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis. I'm gone. And let me know, do y'all think he a bust? He's a role player. He's a 6th man. He's a starter. He's the franchise. Maybe some because Joel Embiid always injured. And he actually didn't even really play that well against the Sixers or, to me, even the Heat. So he's still got some brushing up, cleaning up, and developing to do too. But hey, they young and they already overachieved this year. I didn't even pick the Sixers to make the playoffs, and they won 50 games, got out of the first round. So that just lets you know that much. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comment section below.